All right, let's just jump right in with a question I'm pretty sure you've asked yourself. You're scrolling, right? And suddenly, an app suggests the exact thing you were just thinking about. It's kind of spooky, isn't it? How does it do that?
Well, today we are pulling back the curtain on that very thing. That piece of technology that pretty much everyone just calls the algorithm. It's like this invisible engine running our entire digital lives, quietly shaping what we see, what we decide to buy, even the music we listen to. Okay, so the official name for this algorithm is actually a recommender system. And its whole job, really, is to filter out all the noise. I mean, think about it. There are millions of products, songs, and videos out there. It's impossible to sort through. These systems are supposed to be our personal curators, finding that one needle in the haystack that they think we're actually going to love. And once you start looking, you see them everywhere. Seriously, it's Amazon suggesting what to buy next. It's Netflix lining up your next binge watch. It's Spotify building that perfect playlist that just gets your mood. They've become these silent partners in pretty much everything we do online. Okay, so that's the what, but what about the how? How do these things actually work? Well, when you boil it all down, it really comes back to two core ideas. They're pretty simple, but they are incredibly powerful, and honestly, they're still the foundation for almost all recommendations today. All right, first up is something called collaborative filtering. The easiest way to think about this is like digital word of mouth. The system doesn't care what a movie is about. It doesn't know the plot, the actors, nothing. All it knows is that a bunch of other people who seem to like the same stuff you like, well, they also liked this movie. This is the magic behind that classic Amazon phrase, customers who bought this also bought that. Okay, so the second approach is kind of the opposite. It's called content-based filtering. And this one is all about the item itself. It looks at the properties, the attributes. So if you've watched a ton of science fiction movies, especially ones with a certain actor, the system's gonna say, hey, here are more sci-fi movies with that same actor. It's not about other people, it's about the content you've already shown you like. So when you put these two side by side, you really start to see the pros and cons, right? Collaborative filtering is awesome for discovering totally new stuff you wouldn't have found otherwise. But it has a huge problem if you're a new user, because it knows nothing about you yet. Then you've got content-based filtering, which can give you recommendations right away, but you run the risk of getting stuck in an echo chamber, just seeing slightly different versions of the same thing over and over again. So, yeah, neither one is perfect by itself, and that's where the real genius comes in. The big breakthrough was when people stopped asking, which one is better, and started asking, wait, what if we could get the best of both? Think about that big problem with collaborative filtering for a second. If you're a brand new user, the system has zero data on you, so how can it possibly recommend anything? And it's the same problem for a brand new movie that literally no one has seen or rated yet. What do you do? This is what people in the industry call the cold start problem, and it's a massive hurdle. It's simple, really. You can't find people like you if the system has no idea who you are yet. And the solution? Well, it wasn't about picking a winner between the two. It was about making them work together. This is where hybrid systems come in. Most modern platforms like Netflix use them. They look at what people with similar tastes are watching, and they look at the actual content of the movies you've liked, the genre, the actors, all of it. And there are some really clever ways to do this. For example, a system might switch back and forth. It could start with content-based suggestions for a new user, and then, as it learns more about you, it starts leaning more on collaborative filtering. Or it might just mix them all together, showing you a list that has some stuff you'd expect and some cool surprises. But here's the thing, building a great system, it's not just about being accurate. I mean, if a system only ever showed you stuff it was 100% sure you'd like, things would get really boring really fast. It turns out that a good recommendation is actually a lot more complicated than just being right. Yeah, today's systems have to juggle a whole bunch of different goals. Of course, accuracy is super important, but so is diversity, showing you things from different genres or categories. And then there's my favorite, serendipity. That's that magical moment when you find something you absolutely love that you never, ever would have looked for on your own. And woven through all of this is the big one, user privacy. And that tension, especially between getting things right and protecting users, was put under a giant microscope with something called the Netflix Prize. This was way back in 2006. Netflix basically put out a challenge, $1 million to anyone who could make their recommendation algorithm just 10% better. And it worked. It led to some incredible breakthroughs. But there was a huge catch. The dataset Netflix released was supposed to be anonymized, but it turned out researchers could actually figure out who some of the users were just by comparing the Netflix data with public movie ratings on sites like IMDb. The whole thing became this massive wake-up call for the entire industry about that constant battle between personalization and privacy. And what's so telling is what the winning team said. Their big secret wasn't some single, perfect, magical algorithm. Nope, it was a blend, an ensemble of a whole bunch of different methods all working together. It basically proved what everyone was starting to realize. Hybrid systems were the future. Okay, so that brings us to today. If hybrid systems were the last major evolution, where do we go from here? What's the next big thing?
Well, we are entering a whole new era now, the age of generative AI. The absolute cutting-edge systems are starting to look at everything you do, every click, every time you pause a video, every purchase, as part of a long story. It's like your actions are words in a sentence. And this lets them understand context and subtle hints in a way we've never seen before, because they're learning from literally trillions of data points from all over. And that leaves us with a really big, important question to chew on. These systems aren't just predicting what we'll like anymore. They're starting to actively shape what we like. The line between helping us discover something and persuading us to choose something is getting blurrier and blurrier. So the question we all have to ask is, when you make your next choice, how much of it will really be yours?